Hey, Exiles, welcome to another episode of the Still Sane podcast. I am Talkative your host, and I have here with me my friend off meta, Michael, to talk all things Path of Exile 2, whether it's feedback for 0.3, speculation about 0.4, and just his overall feelings on the game and returning to other beloved ARPG titles. Michael, I want to lead us off by saying you've been pumping out some wicked videos. Good feedback for GGG, some truly off meta builds that utilize interesting items. So I just kind of wanted to give the floor to you for a moment. Could you rate 0.3 as a patch from your perspective? Someone who focuses on not chasing trends and looking at PoE2 Ninja and saying, oh, here's the most powerful skill. Here's how I can farm the most currency the fastest. Here's how I can kill Arbiter in 13 hours, whatever, right? How has 0.3 felt for you about 2.5 months in?
Yeah, so it's been a little bit of up and down for me because I started out Warbringer, and because of the changes to armor, it felt really good actually. So, league starting Warbringer, going with armor and using the new mods that allow armor to also reduce elemental damage felt pretty good. The new way that they changed fissures and then they added the hammer, the forge hammer that spirals those
Mm.
fissures, the ability to re-trigger those with totems and everything, and it just made it feel really good. Um, I felt good about it. I felt like it was the methodical gameplay that we were kind of promised even. Like I'm comboing tons, like I was layering tons of things together with that build in order to really kind of decimate and kind of steamroll through the campaign. And then once I got better gear, the end game became a bit easier and stuff. But I thought it was feeling pretty good. The only thing was that I noticed that the abyss mechanic was kind of a melee stopper. It just made lightning arrow shine even brighter. It was and I've tested this with other builds too because I made 4 builds. Um I have an Amazon that's 94, the Warbinger's 93, the Witch Hunter's 93, and a Chronomancer's 92. And I can tell you I did melee builds with all of them. And a lot of times I had to resort to doing something ranged just to do the abyss mechanic, like the fight the enemies. It was now my Amazon that's like the ice strike one using that pandemonious amulet. I think you saw that video.
Yes.
That one is just so strong and fast, and it freezes everything that one gets by just fine, just staying melee range all the time. But like Warbringer needed to get back and use the fissures and the totems and kind of be out of the way. My Witch Hunter was a minion companion build actually, with primal strikes and then using frozen mandibles and double companions, and that was actually probably my most creative build. And it didn't get as many views though as the other stuff. It really kind of like got buried in the algorithm, or I uploaded it at a bad time. I think I uploaded it on PoE1 launch day.
Oh, no,
So
that's
and I
never a
was
good
like,
move.
yeah,
I don't even
so
do
I
that. I'm
posted
not
it.
doing
Yeah,
that.
dude, I changed the title 3 times. I changed the thumbnail 3 times. I was like, "Can anybody watch this video, please?" Like nobody wanted to watch it. So, and it was like probably my most interesting build. Schwingy saw it. I think Schwingy gave me a
Oh,
shout out. He was like, "Dude, this is sick." I
oh.
was like, All right, all right." Schwingy liked it, so that's all that matters. So, but it was really a really cool build. I was using Voltaic Mark and then Frozen Mandibles and another companion were just like one-shotting everything, and it was just screen clearing because Witch Hunter also has that move that explodes corpses.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it
Yep.
was it was really cool. And on swap, I had Lightning Arrow and Lightning Rod, just like the meta, but it was only on swap for when the Abyss would come in and like destroy melee. So I had this really cool hybrid build that nobody saw, but it was sick, and I had a lot of fun playing it. That build was one of the most fun I've had like in all of PoE2 because I leveled it using the Matsya unique, which gives you 50% reduction in spirit skill cost. So you can have tons of minions like spirit gems and everything with it, and it's a quarterstaff. So I was literally just like killing palm, like flying around with snipers and like specters and a companion and getting power charges, falling thunder, like throughout the campaign. And I leveled using that base, like low level unique, all the way to level like 88, and then switched over to like a spear bows set up when I had currency to like craft and everything.
Right.
So yeah, I think the patch overall was a win. The crafting was excellent. It felt wonderful to use the desecrations, and then I love the logic of barring either prefix or suffix, and like trying to figure out like, oh, if I put this perfect essence, and I use this omen, it'll take only this prefix away, and I'll get the suffix I need. And I had so much fun doing that. I understand local hole now when he was always like, GGG, where's the crafting bench? Like,
That's a good
please,
impression. Holy crap.
the crafting bench, please. Like, oh, like I was always like, I don't know, like it's because I'm coming from Diablo 2. There is no like the crafting in Diablo 2 is so minimal. There isn't like a way for you to like deterministically get something if you just have the right logic of crafting. So, so for me, when I was first playing it, I was kind of like, I don't know, I'm playing like D2. Like, you drop items, you just pick them, like whatever, you get lucky. Now I see that, yeah, we needed crafting in PoE too. I don't think I can go back now that they've put in the Abyss crafting, dude. It's so good. It's so fun. It's like, that's got to be core now, right? If they get rid of it, it's like, oh no, what do we do? You know?
Yeah, it's going to be super interesting to see what they decide to cut, what they decide to implement on the side of Abyss.
Mhm.
Because, of course, the actual map mechanic, I think that's in. It's a shoe in. The bosses are going to be dropped in. How much of the crafting are they going to leave in?
Yeah,
How frequently are bones going to be dropping, right?
right.
It's going to be because they were very powerful. What I really enjoyed, though, was that they also had a very low barrier for entry, right? You could be a very low knowledge player, someone who's not using external tools, and you're just getting the items in game, popping them on your items, and it would be a sizable power boost. It was really nice to see, which is, I think, something that Path of Exile was missing for a long time. And that, in addition to the changes to essences, turning them into regals, essentially, another big,
Yep.
great change for entry level
No, it was
crafting.
awesome.
Yeah.
It was something that just felt right because the past 2 leagues, you'd barely get those essences, and by the time you had them, it was just like, I'm not gonna use it, like,
Yeah.
I'm in the end game, like, what am I gonna I'm gonna add, like, 10 dexterity on a item, like, no, I'm not.
Right. You're hunting for the
So,
perfects, you know? Like,
yeah, yeah. So the way that they changed it has worked out really well. I know that on some of your other podcasts, I think it was Dreamcore saying something like maybe the crafting is too strong now. Like and I talked to Blaze as well on a podcast, and we actually met in real life.
I know. Yep.
And which was cool. And he was kind of saying like, yeah, maybe the crafting feels really good. So I don't know if I want them to nerf it, but he goes, maybe they could just make harder content then. And I don't know. I wonder, like, was the content too easy? Cause or was it just that certain builds are just too strong?
I
You
think,
know?
okay, so
Like, what do you think?
here's my opinion as someone who did not create a super strong build, but did beat the hardest content. Uber Arbiter, I think, is like the hardest content. You can make an argument. What is it? Simulacrum, the final tier, right? So
Yeah,
with all the
Simulacrum
rare
is
modifiers
pretty
and
dang
everything.
hard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that we definitely need a higher ceiling content wise, and I think that's what they're going to do with the revamped endgame that we're going to get. But
Mm,
less of the same old, and perhaps some new bosses, some new ways to edit our maps, some new actual like content systems in the end game, instead of just saying, oh well, yeah, you got to do 100% delirium on a tier 18
yeah,
waste. Like, I don't know. I like the, as I
yeah,
talked about on a recent podcast, the almost like checklist progression. Like, okay, you're getting rewards for tier 1 waystones, and then you progress to tier 2s and tier 3, tier 4, tier 5, and you feel that progression. You feel your character getting stronger. You feel the monsters not getting stronger in like proportion to your character, but you can feel the pushback. You see what's going on in front of you as opposed to just rolling over everything. I think they need that
yeah,
feeling more in the game where you
yep.
aren't either getting steamrolled or steamrolling, because that's usually what I felt from my POV. And I only played one build in 0.3 to late end game, which is the Hollow Palm Ice Strike. Super fun
Mhm.
build, but it was either me getting smashed or me smashing all the monsters. So I do think there needs to be a little bit more difficulty in the end game. but I'm curious to see what they're actually gonna do. So,
Yeah, I think that we just need content that suits more build variety, you know?
mm-hmm.
Because like right now, your build should be like screen wiping trash mobs like with
The
ease,
way, yeah,
and then you should be like stunning the boss with something, either heavy stuns or elements of some kind, or stops or freezes or whatever. And then you should be, you nuking them with some kind of tech. Be like, and it's like if you're not doing that, you're playing the game wrong right now, basically. Like the footage you went through earlier where you were showing Jonathan playing the Druid, with the bear.
yeah.
Okay, if I showed a build like that on my channel, I'd get nothing but people telling me how crap my build is and how slow it is. You know,
Yes, right.
they'd be like, dude, this is so slow. You're doing no damage. Like, what are you doing? And so I'm just saying, like right now, there isn't really content that would suit a slow moving bear.
100%. Yeah.
So that's what I'm curious what
It,
they're gonna do with the druid. I've gone over some of that footage on my channel before too, where they were showcasing the werewolf form when it was still like PoE 1.
yes.
And I remember I got that video, the ratio on that video was like in the 80s or something, because I was kind of just like blasting it like, "This looks bad, you guys. This is blah," and everyone's like, "This is PoE 1," and I was like, "Oh, well, it sucks. I don't know. Like, it doesn't look good, you know?" And I don't know, people were not happy with me, but it doesn't look that great. You just went over it again today. I
hmm
watched it and I was like, "Yeah, dude, that looks not good for PoE 2. Like,
Yo,
that would not be good enough, you
people
know?"
were confused that it was PoE 2 in the chat. I was like, yeah, this is what PoE 2 used to be. Yeah, it was way back when,
Yeah, and
6
it
years
had a
ago.
lot of a lot of the UI stuff was still looking like PoE 1 and stuff
Yep.
then, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's not good enough. I'm like, coming from Diablo 2, I have such a bias about Druid and about the werewolf form and stuff like that. The werewolf form in Diablo 2 is one of the coolest freaking melee builds in Diablo 2. It's called a Fury Druid,
Okay.
and the Fury skill in that game targets up to 5 targets around you, and
Okay.
it'll just like very quickly use his claws to like go all hit them all, and it does really big damage and stuff. And I'm imagining like I love that fantasy of that gaunt, hungry, like silver gray looking bipedal wolf that's
Okay.
on his like
Right.
standing, you know what I mean?
An
Like
actual
that,
werewolf.
and
Right. Yeah.
and
Like,
he's like this.
mm-hmm.
Dude, and he's like like that. That's sick. That's so sick, dude. I'm hoping that it's somewhere. Like I hope it's in an ascendancy. I hope it's one of the new talismans or just whatever, however they're doing it. I hope it is something like that. I hope they really did just say, "Hey, we're just stealing this from D2." Because I don't know if and I hope it's like, it's fast. Like I hope it's like Ice Strike Monk fast.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
dashing to the target, biting the target, slashing with his claws.
Me-
Like I'm hoping it's like that.
You're scaring me a little bit because I want the
Because
bear
if
to
it's
feel
not,
really
yeah,
good, man. Right now, I
yeah,
get that there is an arc. There's a group of people who love the way maces feel, right? On the warrior. Now, I am not one of those people. I've tried to make it work through separate patches. I can't get past the campaign on maces. They just don't feel good to me to play. And I'm worried that it'll almost be that bucket where exactly how you're saying the wolf form is going to be fast like the monk. It's going to have a different
yep,
feel to it, but it's going to be fast like the monk. And then the bear, it's going to have a different feel to maces, but it's going to be pretty darn similar to maces. I'm a little worried that I just hope
I
they
think,
have this truly distinct feeling and different play styles than what we've already seen in the game. I feel like they've gone through so many iterations over the past 6 years. I bet they've even gone over iterations in the past 6 months. I really
yeah,
hope that they nailed it. I'm with you. Maybe they
yeah.
copied it straight from D2. I feel like if they did that, we would have seen Druid in December of last year, like a year ago. So I wonder if they did something like crazy with all these different
I
skills.
don't know. Yeah. Okay. So, well, anyway, so I'm a little bit like I'm excited, and then
Yeah.
I'm also kind of like because I'm biased with D2. There is a big chance that I'll be disappointed, actually. So there is that. However, you said the bear might be a little slow, like the maces. There is, there is the instant. like shift to human form and stuff though too. Like
Mhm.
you could do a setup most likely where you're only in bear form for certain slams and stuff,
Right.
but 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 so you're still, like, able to have some travel and some speed and stuff while you're out of bear form maybe. It's like I think, like, there's probably a satisfying way to do it because my Warbringer, for example, I actually put a quarterstaff on swap just to have Shattering Palm, and
Right.
so I would dash with Shattering Palm and then leap attack to get around, and then everything else felt kinda slow, though, you know what I mean? Like, my fissures were slow, my, rolling slam, was really slow, but it did huge damage, so it felt okay, and I didn't get stun locked out of it or anything like that. So I actually found, like, a good way to play slow maces,
100%.
and it was using weapon swap, basically, you know?
Yeah.
Um, so I feel like that could be the workaround if your druid in
Because
bear form feels slow,
I think you're right too, because some people I remember were saying, "Oh, well, weapon swap isn't going to work for the druid. They don't have weapons." Well, with talismans, if this is what happens with GGG, they will have weapons. They're tied to shapeshift forms, so you can exactly as you're
Yeah,
saying, have quarterstaff on one, talisman on the other. Maybe you're
yeah.
swapping into a bear for just a brief moment. I'm picturing. I never got to play this because I didn't like bases, but Warbringer, I think in 0.1 had encased in jade, which is basically you could use it to tank. I think that was the idea. You could turn into jade, become stationary
Mhm,
for a moment, and tank a huge hit. I'm almost
yeah.
wondering if they'll do something like that with bear form, where maybe they'll have war cries or roars as a skill where you can quickly shift over to that and buff yourself to withstand a big blow. Like that's the sort of fantasy that I'm thinking about. I wonder if
Yeah.
that's feasible in Path of Exile too. That's what I'm picturing in my head. That's what I've always been really yearning
Yeah, I
for.
mean
But
yeah, I mean, the slower, meaningful combat it's kinda gone.
it is.
So,
So, oh,
it's kinda gone.
I
Yeah,
while you're saying that,
and
I is
yeah.
did that happen in Diablo 2? Does it die in Diablo 2 in Endgame? Because I've seen people debate about this. Like, oh, Diablo 2 is
So
always meaningful. Oh, but actually, in the 90s, you just blink around and everything. Like, what?
so, yeah, the Diablo 2, you definitely get faster,
Huh.
but not PoE 1 speeds,
Okay.
and the one thing, if you were to take out teleport from Diablo 2, then it wouldn't be so zoomy, but it's in there, it's part of the game, it's a chase item too for so that every character can eventually get teleport. It's like a body armor
The
that
Enigma,
you
right?
craft. It's Enigma, yeah,
Oh, see, I
and
know my stuff. I've never
yeah, no,
played.
dude, the item chase for Enigma is an incredible item chase in a video game. I don't know if any other game has anything like this in it. So it's a double-edged sword. The problem is you feel bad if you don't have Enigma, you know? But once you get it, you feel amazing. So it's like, they I don't know. The probably if I could have went back in time and changed everything, I probably wouldn't have put teleport in Diablo 2 to begin with. And it you know, and it would have been more balanced because the sorceress starts with it and no other class does. So it's kind of stupid that she's the fastest all the time.
Yeah.
Um, and so anyway, yeah, Diablo 2, it does get a little faster
Yeah.
once you have access to teleport, but it's all readable though, always.
Right. Okay.
There's only one thing in it. The Vicarious Visions team, which took over the Diablo 2 Resurrected game and was balancing it and adding little bits of content here and there. They added a new item that was for Assassin, and it just gives you the ability to use every skill on the martial arts skill tree at the same time, which doesn't make any sense in Diablo 2. And it's just Christmas lights, confetti, fireworks, and you can just go and you can teleport like with a kicking move to each target just and just
Wow.
and you can melt the ubers in the game with it and everything, and they added that, and then they like ducked out and Blizzard put them on the Diablo 4 like train wreck to like fix that, and then they like left it in the game. So Diablo 2 has that, but it's not supposed to.
Right. Okay.
you know? So that's it. It's not other than that, it's not that zoomy, it's not that blasty. It's like you can still read everything. You
Okay.
can get really, really fast run speed with a Fury Werewolf Druid though. He has like build up, like he has these moves that give him increased run speed and increased attack speed as you're like building up this feralness that you have. So um I'm kind of hoping that we get some of that with Druid. I hope we get some speed. I hope the bear is like, if he's going to be all tanky and everything, I'm actually like might be pretty cool with his roars, because like Warbringer, for example, has unlimited war cries, and you can explode corpses with that. So what if you went Warbringer, bear, and you're just stomping around, roaring, just exploding the whole screen? I mean, there could be some really sick builds that even if you're not zooming, you're still like feeling the power, you know? So yeah, I mean, like I'm excited, and then I'm also just like being prepared to be disappointed. Yeah,
I feel you. I feel you. I
yeah.
have I've warned people. I'm very excited about the Druid, okay? And maybe it won't live up to
Mhm.
my expectations. I'm ready for that though. If it doesn't, okay, so be it. Whatever. I'll be fine. We have some people though who are saying, "Oh, well the Druid was almost ready in 0.3, so that means they're going to drop another class in with 0.4. We're going to get axes and swords. We're going to get the Marauder and the Duelist, something like that. Oh, they're going to shadow drop the Templar for Christmas, right?" So there's some people. What is your
I
take on that?
mean,
What do you think? Like with the dev cycle and everything?
I mean, so okay, it's Christmas time.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, I like go big, man. Like, right? And so I don't
Oh,
know. I'm not sure. It would make sense. There's a few things that make sense.
okay.
It would make sense if they did do Templar, because he's also a strength intelligence class, and that's what the Druid is. And that side of the tree is getting worked on for Druid. And so it's possible they just worked on that side of the tree this whole time. And it's possible that the hangups with Druid were mostly just like animation based and not really like skills or anything. You know, maybe not so much like balance and stuff. Maybe it's just animation. And if that's the case, then perhaps they did have they were able to work on another class. So maybe that. Shadow could be cool because the right side of the tree works. You know, the right side of the tree for monk works really well. Um, every time you go to that side of the tree, your character is going to be fine. So if they dropped Shadow with daggers and you just went evasion, energy shield, and you just picked all that stuff, you'd probably have a great time with the Shadow if they have that ready. There was that little, wasn't there a glimpse of the Shadow character model at one point
Yes.
too
Yeah.
recently?
Yeah, I believe it
Okay.
was in the lead up to 0.3. There was he was in
Yeah.
an MTX screenshot, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah. So now, and the other thing here, the only other thing way I can go with this is just popular demand. Everyone wants a sword in the game. Everyone. And so maybe Jonathan is just like, we need to get swords in the game because it's basically like towers. Like everyone hates towers. Everyone wants swords. You know?
This is very
So
logical. Okay, you're laying out pretty good arguments. I like the Templar one. I
yeah.
actually have that's a very sensible point that I haven't seen people bring up. They're probably revamping a huge part of the tree.
Yep.
Maybe you're right, and it was just a bunch of animation issues with WASD and Sprint, and they had the skill design good to go. They already had the ascendancies, and they just couldn't make it look good. And they want everything in Path of Exile 2 to look good. So they've had the animators working on bear form and dragon form, and then everybody else
Yeah.
has been chugging away at flails and the Templar. And we're gonna get a double drop in December. That
I
sound
would
good.
love that if they did do that. It would be fun for trade too, because everyone would want armor energy shield hybrid gear. You
Yeah.
know, for once, like that stuff was not in high demand in the last two leagues. Definitely not the first, you know, the first couple. This one is it's a bit better, but yeah. Do you think the third form though? Because we're definitely going to get like a wolf and a bear. I think that's pretty set in stone. But
Confirmed.
like, what do you think the next one's going to be?
Ooh, personally, I'm thinking we're gonna get some sort of bird type form. I would love to
Yeah.
see maybe a vulture. My favorite creatures in the game are those demonic giant vultures from Act
Hmm.
2 that
Yeah.
used to leap from 38 screens away, and now they only leap
Right.
from one screen. Yeah, favorite
Yeah.
creatures in the game. I'm not even kidding you. I was so mad when they nerfed that. I remember people like,
Yeah, you like getting like one
"I-
tapped by
okay,
like a bird off
I
screen.
I like getting one tap by a cool monster ability. I think that's kind of a cool
Yeah.
thing. It's something when I didn't finish Diablo 2. Life got in the way. But in Diablo 2, I really recognized each monster and their behavior and the skills they
Yes.
use. And I was like, oh man, gotta watch out for that. Oh shoot, gotta
Yeah,
gotta aim for that one for right. I didn't just say, well, I just gotta blast everything down. I had to
right.
specifically focus and be strategic on which monsters I eliminated. Maybe I had a crap build. I probably had a crap build, but I had to do that in Diablo 2. I like that aspect of Path of Exile 2's campaign. I think
Mhm.
sometimes that does shine through with some monsters. And at other points, when you become powerful enough, it doesn't matter anymore. And I do like when
Yeah,
it matters quite a bit. But yeah, I
yeah.
think a bird of some sort. What do you want to come in?
Yeah, two things I wanna say then. One, the third form, but two, you said something about having to worry about the monster, so I feel like we should touch on that again.
Yeah.
Um, so the the third form, my wild guess is that it's gonna be something weird, and it's like you're gonna be like a mushroom, like a fungus.
Oh.
And only reason is because we fight a druid mushroom boss in the first act. And I was thinking like maybe that's like a okay, because like you know how like the monk has acolyte of Chayula, and that's kind of like his dark form in a way, you know? Maybe the druid's like evil form, so to speak, is this, mushroom fungus like infection thing,
Yeah. The
Could
blighter.
be that, yeah, and maybe the bear and the wolf are more like in tune with nature and all that, and that's like his, neutral good or lawful good type D&D form, right?
Yeah.
And then the mushroom could be like spores and disease and fungus and like telekinetic like mind control, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
'Cause, like,
Yeah.
that's, like, a part of, like, fungus and mushrooms is they're like a network with each other across, like, a space, you know? They can, like, communicate with one another across a distance and everything, and so I was just thinking, like, that kinda has this, like, hive mind, like, evil kind of sounding mentality to it to me that could be kind of interesting for Druid, like, he becomes fungus and corrupted in a way. So I don't know, that's kinda what I thought they could do, and it could tie in lore-wise to the boss we fight in the
Right.
first act. I don't know if
Could be a
they
cool
think that.
ascendancy, dude. And then you could
Yeah.
even have like corrupted animal forms where you like
Mhm.
grow spores on your wolf and you start dealing
Maybe,
poison.
yeah, I
That'd
don't
be yeah,
know.
that'd be kind of cool.
That's
I
my
like it.
that was
I
my
like it.
wild
I
idea.
like it.
I don't I would take whatever. Like bird style stuff would be cool because then you could probably use that to get around the map pretty fast and
Hmm.
stuff. Like maybe that's the solution for a slow bear is turning into a fast bird in between and then back into the bear again and I don't
Yeah.
know. And then the other thing was about the monsters mattering. So you're kind of right. There was a point where GGG wanted us to care about rares. You remember this?
Oh, I
They said that we
I
should have to care.
I hyper fixed dude. So
Yeah,
pre-launch, no, I don't even know if it was pre-launch. I think it was my first time chatting with Jonathan. He dropped like this bomb nobody else cared about, but I thought it was so cool. He said, "Rare monsters will have abilities specific for that monster that regular versions won't have." So imagine
yeah,
like the vulture demon has like I don't know why I'm thinking this, but like an 8, like it goes like it bats its chest and then does a special move, something like that. But it only does it when it's rare.
yeah,
And apparently they threw that out pretty much, and only like 2 monsters have that. So yeah, they wanted them to be like different. They really did.
yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
So you know how like they added um those stones? I forget what they're called now, but it summons a boss. You hit the
Yes,
three
the summoning
stones, and then
stones.
the
Yep,
the summoning stone.
yep,
Thanks.
yep.
That okay. Those and they're weaker though. Like they don't have as much
They
health,
die. Yeah,
right? They
yeah.
go down a lot faster than a regular map boss or whatever. What if the rares were just those?
Oh,
Like what if they reskinned them and they just because they they had or like they added more of those because when I encounter those, they don't go down in one shot with a good build, but they go down in a few. You kind of have to fight them a little bit, you know?
right.
Like and so I'm just wondering like what is their like do they still want us to care about the rares?
Great
Or not?
question.
Because if they do, then why like maybe have more of those little mini boss type things as like the pack leader of the rares or something once in a while or half the time or something. And that way you wouldn't just blast through it and be like, "Oh, I killed a rare." You might be like, "There's that guy, like he's actually the boss leader of this little mini pack." Maybe that's something that they want to do in different content, maybe not regular mapping, but it's just a thought. Like, you want me to care about the rare, and maybe make him a mini boss instead.
That's I mean that is It's a great question, but I think it's one that they have essentially answered with 0.3. I feel like maybe we'll finally figure out the decisive answer in 0.4. But I think you hit the nail on the head when you said, do they want us to actually fight the rare monsters? Or do they want us to just blow them up once our build is strong enough? And it gets to
Yeah.
that point pretty quickly.
Yeah, and then
It's
they overdid it a little, right?
mm,
Like, cause in with Abyss, I'm just saying that
oh
because
yeah.
the Abyss rares were, like, harder than the bosses, for melee. Just
Oh
for melee. If
yeah,
you
the
played
mods,
okay,
bro,
if anyone
bro.
played Lightning Arrow, Lightning Rod, Row Amount, like, you don't count, okay? Because you didn't have to trudge through a chilled ground temporal chains map while moving like this slow, like, and then the things are all just zipping right around you, crowding you in a corner. Like, you didn't have to do that. So, like, the people that said the content's too easy, but I played Lightning Arrow, Lightning Rod on a row amount, it's like that doesn't count. It's like it doesn't count because that was the solution against every single problem in the game.
The
So I know, like Fubgun played that, and he said movement speed is the only stat that matters in PoE 2. Did you watch any of his stuff?
I I mean, I don't really watch honestly, I don't watch a lot of creators' videos, but I know kind of their
Okay.
opinions. I more so
Yeah,
like
he
will
just
read
basically
the highlights essentially. I can't watch
right. It
them.
was basically constricting command unique,
Yeah,
really, really strong craft for a bow,
right.
movement speed on the entire tree, nothing else.
Right. Well, because he off screens a lot of stuff too, right? Because with Lightning Arrow, you're on your Roa. You just
Yeah.
kill anything before it appears on your screen. If there's
But
any
yeah,
degen effect, ground effect that appears, you zoom out of it. Frozen ground or chilled ground doesn't
yeah,
matter. None of that stuff really matters. Then when you're on melee, like if you're melee build or my melee build, man, those abyssal rares, if they had the bubble, if they had the degen effect around them,
yeah.
like
It
oh my
was
gosh,
like so punishing,
crazy.
right?
Yes, right. Yeah,
So punishing. And so like, I enjoyed having to solve that in a way with
yeah,
my melee builds. Like,
more
okay, so I guess
interactive.
I'm gonna have to like put a bow on swap and step back and shoot them. Like, that's fine. But like it was just like, do they want us like d they're punishing melee so bad with that mechanic. It was just like I guess what I'm trying to say is that I love the patch, but I also had moments of like pure frustration in it, where
Yeah.
it felt like, damn, this is punishing. Like, wow, like this is so annoying. And like I just wonder if they want what they're going for with that is like, why are they punishing melee so bad? And when they said, Jonathan said at least, that they created PoE 2 to fix melee,
No.
he said
Yeah.
that in with Ziggy D in an interview. And obviously he said that like off the cuff and the game I don't even know if the game was out yet at that point, but and they had what they had at the time was something that looked very impactful and slower and stuff. So it kind of made sense at the time that he said that.
Well, it's the big
But
visual
now
clarity issue, dude. You know? I think
oh yeah, the visual
that's one
yeah,
we can talk about the zoominess and how fast the combat is and how you need to blow the screen up.
yeah,
You can also talk
yeah.
about the fact that if you do create a build that is a little bit more slower, more meaningful, like cuz you can make builds like that if you want to progress to late in the game, it almost becomes unreadable if you're not blowing up the screen, right? There's so many monsters on the
Yeah.
screen, there's so many effects happening on the screen. It's it's the example once again. I think Chris Wilson gave this example. I think Mark has done it. Jonathan's done it. It's the whole argument of in Path of Exile 1, you're shooting 100 arrows per second out of your bow and you can't see anything. That's great for
Uh-huh.
Path of Exile 1. And Path of Exile 2, you're going to be able to achieve that power, but maybe you're shooting 5 arrows out of your bow. Or there's 10 arrows and you can see what's going on. You can read what the monsters are doing. You can
Yeah.
maneuver around with WSD. And I really, really like when the game. So here's my hypocrisy, dude. Because I really like that. I really enjoy that aspect of Path of Exile too. But I
Mhm.
found myself playing a ton of PoE 2 when my build was zooming, when it was blowing crap up,
Yeah.
when the game was like, what
Yeah.
is going on? Like I'm saying, hey, I really want this type of game, but then I'm also playing a lot of this other type of game too. It's like,
Yeah.
it's hard. Can I
Okay,
ask for
so
better
I
visual
can agree.
clarity while
No,
also,
dude,
you know?
I can agree. Like my my best build was
Yeah.
the Amazon with Ice Strike and Shattering Palm using Pandemonious Amulet. I went all cold and physical damage, and I'm just zipping around. I got a bunch of movement speed on the tree. You know, am I still there? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you're
Did
good.
I freeze? Okay.
No, you're
But
good.
I yeah, and it definitely feel and like going back to a slower build after that, like, because I had 4 characters, I went back to, like, try out my Chronomancer that was trying to make Whirling Assault work. I don't know if you saw that video, and that, like, there's so much clunkiness with that, like, I went over that in my video about how the tack time that's set on that, even if you cancel out of it, carries over to the next skill, which is so bad. Like, it feel there's a delay penalty on another skill if you dodge roll out of a Whirling Assault. It's like, that's not right. I don't think that's intentional, but I found, like, why it feels so bad is that's one reason. But, like, you go back to, like, say, a build like that after you've played, like, a movement speed character with Ice Strike, and you just it doesn't you feel like once you taste the speed, you kinda just feel like I can't go back, you
I
know?
get that. I get that. Yeah, because I played Ice Strike. That's exactly what I did this patch, and it just felt so good. It really. It also just feels fluid, right? And it feels fluid all the way through as well. Maybe I did lose you now. Did I lose Michael? Can you hear me,
Hello?
bro? You froze, but
Yo,
I
hey.
can hear you. Cool. Ice
Okay,
Strike.
could you
Yeah, I could.
Yeah, 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 hey, hey, sorry.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
Um,
Were you?
so
Go for it.
I was just saying, like, once you lose the speed and you
Right.
go back to a slower character, it does feel kinda bad to lose the speed, you
Yeah.
know?
No, I totally agree with you. And I
Yeah,
think some skills in PoE just hit right now, or in PoE 2 just hit right now.
yeah,
And I think a lot of those are able to reach that point in the game where it's quick, it's powerful, and it feels good. And usually I think a lot of these skills do feel good the entire game round. Like Ice Strike. I started using that midway through Act 1. And I played it all the
yeah,
way to the end game. Sure, I used Bell, Shattering Palm, a few other skills here and there, but I played that all the way through level like 11 or whatever to 94. Loved
yeah.
it. I think they need to really fixate on getting more skills to that level.
To feel good the whole time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Which
that's
I
you're
think
right,
they have
and
acknowledged that. I feel like they did they? I think they did. I hope they're working
yeah.
on it, you know?
So, yeah, so that's some of the stuff that I've covered on my channel is just, like, this skill, like, feels really bad because of this, or whatever. Like, there's a lot more that I could do too, because I tested tons of stuff this patch, actually. I was trying out really weird combinations of things and, um, trying to make stuff work and, like, you know, ultimately, like, the stuff that just is tried and true right now is like evasion, energy shield, and ice strike, like those kind of builds, dude. So like I said, armor is like good now. It's better. It's kind of fixed, I'd say almost. That maybe we need a little more life on the tree or something, but it's pretty good. But I will say, and I don't even want them to nerf this or anything. It's just that it's if you do high evasion with ghost dance, you regenerate thousands of energy shield when you get hit. And I mean, it's so good.
Yeah.
Like, you feel tanky enough to do melee. So, like, if they take that away, let's say they go, well, evasion energy shield is OP, so we've changed ghost stance so that it hurts you now, because instead of heals you, it now hurts you when you use ghost dance, and you're like, what? So anyway, because that's how they nerf stuff, they like triple tap something into the ground, and then it like it's a penalty now or something if you use it.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, sorry, that's me being a little sarcastic, but like, if they changed it, then it would be a lot harder to be the melee character with about 3 to 4,000 energy shield and 1,200 life with 60% evasion, right? You'd suddenly be dying all the time, right?
Right.
So it's like I don't want them to nerf that, but it just turns out that like even though they did all those changes to armor, my evasion energy shield character was still tankier,
True.
still
True. Yeah.
because it was faster, you
Yeah.
know.
Hmm.
So that's still the thing. That's still the thing in the game that seems to be since point one, I would say.
Yeah, it's such a tricky problem to solve. I don't envy them in the slightest. I'm hoping
Yeah.
as more options are added to the game and they're able to refine the tree more and
What
hopefully
is
go for it. Say again.
I was just gonna say, what is it about Delve that I've heard that
Oh.
would allow for tankier builds? Like I've heard this
Oh.
thrown around, and I'm like, is that really right? Because I don't know if I can't imagine a scenario where speed isn't king all the time still.
So at least in Path of Exile 1, and I'm not a delver, so I'm just going to try to explain it. Don't kill me, comments. Don't kill me, chat. I don't deep delve. I think what people say when they talk about delve requiring tank is that at a certain point, um, one, okay, so delve scales exponentially. So at a certain point, I'm pretty sure defenses don't matter. It's like if you get hit, you die, right?
Oh,
But for quite a long time, you really want to scale your defenses because they are king, right? There's quite a there's like a break
like
point,
you
I
don't need
think.
movement speed because you're kind of
No,
like
you
trudging
will.
along
Right.
slowly,
Yeah,
right?
you're going
Okay,
along.
yeah,
I mean, there are like I think there are builds that really focus on movement speed and avoiding all hits and zooming throughout. But I think those are for mostly higher skilled players. And I think for Delve, you
okay,
just need to invest in those defenses to progress to a deeper depth. And there's the
yeah,
fact that it's like, okay, it's infinitely scaling. So it wants you to invest in the defenses, right? In addition to damage.
yeah,
You don't just need to fixate on damage. You also want to focus on your defenses so that in case like you do die, you don't get reset and everything. So I'm not the
yeah.
professional on Delve, but I think that's what
So
people are.
I'm just saying, like, maybe that's, like, maybe there's a type of endgame content that you can drop into and farm a lot, and it's really just conducive to like an armor build. Like maybe that's just what they do. Is it's just like I don't know, maybe there's monsters that eat your freaking energy shield, Like
Right.
and you're like, "Oh, dude, my monk sucks in this area?" And
Hmm.
like then that would make sense. Then you'd be like, "Okay, well, I need to build a Titan or something now, if I really want to do that content." Like I think that would be fine. Like coming from Diablo 2, there's certain areas that you farm in the higher end difficulties of the game, and you have to make different builds actually to farm them. It's just like because there's immunities and stuff in Diablo 2. So like
Right.
there'll be an area where it's like everything is immune to fire, and you're like, so your fire character sucks here. Like you need to do a different character, um, if you want to farm that area, right? So, or like in Diablo 2, there's even like barbarian characters that are the actual best magic finders in the game because they can do an item find ability on corpses, which almost doubles your chance
Oh wow.
for items. So like and so even though it has terrible clear, let's say, um, if you just target farm like rare monsters and unique monsters and then farm their corpse again, you're actually the most efficient magic finder in the game, you know? So
Yeah.
like that makes that whole build and that's a whole build in and of itself in Diablo 2 where like there's specific gear you want to make that build optimal. And so like I I kind of think that that would be great in PoE too. Jorgen, if you're out there and you hear this, I think he would totally agree with me on that. By the way, I think he said the same thing. Is like we need content for build type, and that would make
Right.
the build variety like shoot up tremendously.
Yeah.
So I think maybe the end game rework we're getting is going to give us stuff like that. I'm excited for that too. Actually,
So it's curious that you say that because one of the, by the way, shout out to you, Jorgen. I'm out of my depth when it comes to Delve. He knows all about Delve. Go see his stuff for Delve. Everything,
Mm,
okay? So one of the big pitches from grinding gear games for the longest time with PoE 2 was, oh, in PoE 2, you're going to run into these monsters, whether they're bosses or rares, where you will need to switch your weapon or your ability, right? Maybe something will be
yeah,
heavily immune, not fully immune, but very resistant to fire, and
resistant.
you'll
Yeah,
have to use this ability, right? Dude, that's gone. That's dead. That's basically
no,
what
it
you're
doesn't
saying.
matter.
That's what Jorgen might be saying. But also for defenses too, like, oh, you're gonna need to swap around your defenses for this and everything. That is so dead. I wonder if that's something that they are still pursuing or if they have basically conceded that at this
Mhm.
point. Maybe at the most it's going to be like, okay, skill for bossing, skill for clearing. But already in the current balance of PoE 2, a lot of the times you get to a power level where you use the game skill for bossing and clearing very, very quickly. Maybe you'll use Tempest Bell, right, with Ice Strike
Yeah,
to clear a boss,
yeah,
but uh I don't know. It's so interesting. I would agree, like, because that would lead to more engaging combat because you're kind of thinking about what you're using. Maybe you got
yeah.
to switch your mindsets. I don't know about the multiple characters thing. I don't think I'm hardcore enough for that, so I'm gonna say big nay to that. But I
Well,
I see what
yeah,
you
but
mean though.
it doesn't but if there's enough content, like, you don't have to like, maybe you
Engage
just
with it.
don't have to engage with
Right.
it,
I do
right? So,
that in
like,
PoE one. Yep. I just don't engage
yeah,
with it.
so, like, I think it just needs that just personally because, last league, I only made 1 character, right? But this league I made 4,
Yeah.
and the first league I made like 7 or something, and so like, this league was definitely like really good to me for the build variety and stuff with the changes they made. Um, and there's so many builds I didn't even get to. Man, I'm like a hoarder with gear and stuff too, and
Oh,
I have like insane items and stuff for casters and for all kinds of characters, and I'll just there's no chance I get to them. But like I wanted to make like 10 characters, and I just don't have time. Like there's no way.
right.
Like I have a full-time job.
Yeah,
So
full-time job, gotta
yeah.
hit the gym, okay, come
Yeah, dude.
on,
Yeah.
right?
So there's just no way. But yeah, man, there's that. So like the end game content, I'm excited. I'm hoping that they are adding a bit more, you know, determinism in the end game for getting our like breach and our
Oh,
delirium and the bot. I hope that there's new bosses that give you those points and not just Zesht, for example. I know they've talked about this, right? But it just and I know you and I have mentioned this before last time, I think, and I was saying like it would just be nice if it was like you go this direction and it's like that's like the breach domain, like
yeah.
you're on your quest line to get your first few points that way. Collecting the splinters is like fine, I guess.
It's a
It's
good
okay.
Band-Aid. It's a good Band-Aid
It's
solution,
okay.
I think.
It's just not it just doesn't I don't know. It just would I think if you had like a location that you were working towards and you get in there and it's almost like an interlude level of like map design, like the breach domain, whatever. Like, and you go in there and there's actually a boss that you have to fight. You beat him, and it's like we're getting closer to Zesht. Like we got to find him. Blah blah. Like the whatever the NPC wants to say. I don't know. Whatever you want to click through. And
Yeah.
so that, like something like that, where it's like we're hunting this. We're on. We've got another clue to that. Right? Something like that just to show you like, hey, you're progressing. You're making it. Because I feel like a lot of newer players, they probably have no idea what they're doing when they get to the end game. Like it probably feels so aimless,
No, and
to
they
them.
check out a little bit too because right,
Dude,
because
they
it
do.
feels
Dude,
aimless. Yeah.
this patch, my brother and one of my best friends, they both started, and 2 weeks in, they just bolted, didn't play anymore at all.
Oh,
Like they play. We even played together a little bit sometimes, and I had my Warbringer with all the fissures and stuff.
yeah.
And honestly, the screen clutter turned them off a lot.
Oh,
Like,
dude.
and so this is feedback for GGG. Okay, like I was playing the game. I enjoyed the game. I played it. I'm still playing it right now, like, here and there, right? But like, I was laying down fissures and totems, and like my brother and my friend, like, we're fighting a boss. They can't see anything, and they're like, "Dude, I can't see anything." And it was like I had to, like, stop attacking so that we could, like, enjoy the game?
Mhm.
It's kind of a big problem,
Yeah.
if you ask me. So
Yeah.
and they didn't come back. Like, they didn't come back for the rest of the league after that.
I
Like.
I think that's the big so there's two big problems. One we didn't even talk about. It's just because it's so obvious. One was all the performance issues, which I think GGG has been steadily addressing all the crashes and all that, which is great. But
Yeah.
number two, it's the visual clarity. We talked about earlier how it's just completely trashed at this point, and it is such a shame. Whether it's the
Dude, the
actual
game looks
boss
so
fight, the
good.
game looks so good. The monsters are
Yeah.
so cool. The abilities look great, but at some point, there's just so much crap on screen. Oh, and the thing is, too, I don't know if GGG can go back on that. When they, for example, with Abyss, okay? Yeah, super cool. Lots of monsters on screen. Oh my God, you can get a lot of monsters, but I can't see anything really. And you got to blow them all up really quickly. So many people love that, okay? I loved it.
Yeah.
But I think it would be cooler if they went with that very different design where it was a few packs at a time and you had to actually look at them and okay, maybe it's not a 2 minute long fight. Maybe it's a 15-second long fight with the 2 packs and they give the equivalent amount of loot as the 500 monsters that spew forth from the abyss. I
Yeah.
I don't know. Like people love killing hordes of just look at Mega Bonk, right? Look at all these games that where you're just
Mhm.
fighting hordes and hordes of something about that just appeals to people. And I
Yeah.
think GGG were trying to go with something very different. Not Elden Ring, guys. Not Elden Ring. Okay?
Mhm.
Something different. And
Yeah.
it's already slipped into that typical ARPG, hordes and hordes of monsters, blow them up as fast as possible.
Yeah.
I don't know. It,
It's fine. I mean, like, we'll see. It's not
right.
like I'm still have like you said, I had a lot of fun this league
Me
still.
too. I
I'm
feel
just
stupid.
like I think what it is that I really like it a lot enough to like spend all this time
Yeah.
thinking about it so much and
Yeah.
making content on it and then being like, hey, I feel like I have a good idea that I want to get out there and maybe they'll see it or whatever. And like that's what I think that's what it really is that I actually like it that much to care enough,
Yep.
you know?
Right.
So it's even though sometimes I sound like maybe I'm being really negative, it's like uh it's all like in good faith though, you know?
Yeah, you always talking. I really appreciate your feedback and your critiques because it sounds like it's in good faith, even if you're being sarcastic or whatever. Yeah, it's still in good faith, and that's
Yeah.
that's good. I appreciate that. I
Mm,
really do. So
yeah.
you're right though. I've had a ton of fun. I'm complaining about this alternate reality in which the game was very, very different, but I still played for a stupid amount of time in a very short. Dude, I was sick launch weekend. I think I played like 35 hours launch weekend. Like I can't even. That's insane. I have two kids.
Yeah.
What's going on? So
Yeah.
you're right. You're totally right, man.
Yeah.
Oh, so with
Yeah.
with zero point 0.4 on the horizon, is there anything? Okay, we got Endgame, we've got Druid. Is there anything under the visual clarity hopefully being fixed? Is there anything under the radar you're hoping is slipped into the patch? Maybe just a personal desire?
Well, I'm hoping that at some point it might have to be a league mechanic, but I'm
Okay,
hoping at some point we are able to like desecrate a unique item or something because
bro.
there's so many bad unique items and they'll have like one mod where you're like, I'd like to build around that, but the item sucks so bad that I can't use it. And I think that if they had a way for you to upgrade, augment, you know, do something to it. I don't know outs because right now they actually have so many unique items, even though like the game is just out. They have so many that are like that would need a balance pass that I don't know if they can do it like in time, you know?
Oh, bro,
And
you don't even
and
know.
so
I'm sorry for laughing, man. They
yeah.
just because you for everybody watching, Michael does not play Path of Exile 1. They just did this this is literally the current league mechanic in Path of Exile 1.
No, yeah, I
The new
know
breach.
that
Oh, you
it is, and
know?
I
Oh,
predicted that's what it would be on
oh,
Blaze's
oh
thing.
really?
I said I predict the next league mechanic is going to be a way to augment
Hey,
uniques or something, you know?
that's man, it could be
And
ported. Could it?
yeah, and then they put that in there, and so that's why I'm saying like they might be dropping in something like that so that we can just kind of mess around with the uniques more.
Yeah.
That might be nice. Um, trying to think, there was something that was in the back of my mind too.
I think
No, it's
Foulborns and
gone.
PoE 2 would be pretty cool because uniques, for the most part,
Yeah.
I've talked about this a lot, pretty lackluster. At least I'm not an amazing build maker, but I don't find myself utilizing them in many of my builds. I just full
Dude,
on rares. Like, I'm just, okay,
yeah.
let's do
No,
it.
it's hard to fit them in. Like
Yeah.
you have to have like really good gear
Yeah.
on every other slot just to fit in a unique item. Especially like so
Tight.
I just messed around with the Sierran Inheritance, which gives you reverse effective chill.
I saw
So
that
it's
video. Yep.
30% more action speed if you're standing on chilled ground, essentially, because the chilled ground maps were so annoying, you know, that I was just like, I'm just gonna like set up a build that's just only running chilled ground maps, you know, like that'll be fun, you know? And so there's ways you could do that, right? Like you could do Pathfinder and you ignore slows, Wanderlust boots, you could ignore slows. There's body armors and nodes in the tree to kind of, you know, improve that. But I wanted to just use that because it makes you even faster when you're on chilled ground. And so I did that and that was fun. I ran, you know, a handful of maps that had chilled ground on them for fun using that. But it was like I had to give up 6,000 energy shield to use it.
Oh,
So my character went from over 9,000 energy shield to 3,000 energy shield. And I was kind of like, it's such, and you know, the action speed was really good. So it was like semi worth it, and it made running those maps fun. And it's a video game, so you're supposed to have fun.
yeah.
So that was good. But in terms of like this type of game where like optimizing your build is such a big part of what you're doing, it sucks to like fit in the unique and lose like 6,000 energy
That's
shield, you know?
terrible. Yeah.
So I just am saying, like, if we could desecrate the uniques, if we could recombinate something, I don't know, that would be insane. I don't like that would be so busted. But I don't know. They got to try something so that otherwise they're going to be like they're going to have 1,000 unique items to balance patch, and they'll never be able to do it because they're always adding stuff. And these all these uniques are just going to be left, just sitting there in the PoE2 DB. You're going to be looking through them like what am I going to use any of these for? So yeah, so like they just need to do something that like a mechanic that lets us work on them. That would be kind of nice.
That's a good one.
I would enjoy that.
That's a good one. Yeah, you're saying desecrate. Maybe they could integrate it with the Kulam or the Vessel of Kulamak boss fight, where you can, instead of
Mm,
creating that one ring that I don't think I saw anybody using that darn ring, but you could
yeah,
desecrate a unique item and get some crazy roll, like kind of with the follow-in
right. Like
system. Remove a
that
mod,
would be
add a
nuts, dude. If
mod.
you
You know.
fought him, yeah,
Yep.
that would be nuts if you fought him and you got to slot in a unique of your
Yep.
choice in there
Yeah.
and add a couple mods to it after you beat him or something. That would be kind of nuts. I think people would be excited about something like that. You know?
Yeah. Oh yeah. 100%. Because a lot of
Yeah.
uniques. I mean, the mods are cool. The special mods can be really cool. A lot of the times, though, it's like the base stats that are really crap. Like you just said, going from 9K to 6 or 3K energy shield. That's
3K. Yeah. Yeah.
terrible, dude. It's because it's the base stats, right? So
Yeah.
I wonder if there's a way for them to make that work. Because that's a problem that they've had in Path of Exile 1 as well. But I feel like it's way more prevalent in
In
PoE 2.
Diablo 2, in Diablo 2, there are crafting recipes to upgrade unique items to their like expert tier.
Okay.
Like you c
So,
yeah, like so you could take an item that you get in normal difficulty
okay.
and then upgrade it to its like hell difficulty, you know, cruel
So does
difficulty
it
if you want to
just
call it that.
upgrade like the base statistics? So in like
Yes,
PoE
yeah,
2
just the
terms,
base.
the energy shield would go from 100 to maybe 500 or something like base.
Yes, yes. It's just the
Eh,
base
Yeah,
stats
right.
and it doesn't enhance any of the rolls. It's just the base stats. And so that is like one thing they could do and it wouldn't really break anything too bad, I don't think. There you might find something that gets really broken that way. There might be. And there might be like some body armors with like energy shield recharge type stuff where people like do that and then they get 3 or 4 sockets and then it's like they're unkillable because I mean that might happen.
From
But in early access and with the way that they patch every 4 months, I feel like it might be worth the risk,
yeah,
to
I get
try to
that.
allow us to have that access.
From the game developer perspective, is it because they want rare items to be best in slot for the most part because it's more chase? It's like, is that like
Yeah, I
the
think
psychology? I'm trying to think because that sounds like such a good idea, almost like
yeah.
an easy win, right? It was done 25 years ago in Diablo 2. Why would they not
If
implement this in PoE?
Right.
I'm
If the game becomes only unique items though,
that's
then we got a problem. Yeah. So I get it. I'm saying this, you know, like we should have some trepidation about that, I think. Like it should be really we should be really well thought out. Like
yeah,
I'm saying like it's worth the risk for a league and stuff, but it's also like, yeah, we got to think about that a lot too.
yeah.
Like
As a
I
league mechanic,
wouldn't
you can take it away.
yeah, yeah, right. It's like we might have to take it away, but if it was a huge win and it didn't break the game, then that means you could go core. So that's something they could think about. I think that's all I have to say about it now. But that would be cool.
I really like it, and I just want to add one more thing. It would make all the times when a unique item drops way more exciting too, because nine, I'm gonna do something terrible. 99% of the time when a unique item drops, I literally don't care. It's like I can't really slot this into my build. Nobody wants it
Yeah,
for their build. I'm gonna sell it for a few Regal shards in PoE 2. Yeah,
yeah.
Regal shards in PoE 2. I've been playing a lot of PoE 1. So
Okay.
it would really make that more exciting, especially because, as you mentioned before, we have hundreds of unique items in the game. We want them to have a purpose, right? Very
Yeah,
exciting
I just
thing.
think it would be more fun. I mean, it just like I played a mod of Diablo 2 not that long ago, and it's called Project Diablo 2, and it's been in development for years, and it's basically like if Diablo 2 never stopped getting updates. And it's in that game they actually have Val orbs, quote unquote. But they call them world stone shards, and you can corrupt unique items in Diablo 2 with it. And the Diablo 2 unique items are very, very good. And so it made finding uniques in that run that I did like 10 times more enjoyable than they already were. It was like, oh, dude, if
Yeah.
I corrupted, I could get +1 to all skills or whatever, you know? So, yeah, I just think that they just could do something like that, and it would just make the uniques feel a lot better.
Excellent idea, man. I'd love to see something like that implemented. I also have to take an L right now, dude. Unique items give chance shards in PoE 2. Do I even play the game? Honestly,
Regal,
I don't even think I
I know you meant,
play.
yeah, you meant
I,
chance shards, yeah,
I don't even play the game. Unfortunate. All right.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Michael, man.
you did say Regal,
I said
Regal shard, I
Regal.
think,
I'm
but
an
yeah,
idiot.
yeah.
That's rare
I knew you
items.
meant chance shard though, but
Oh,
yeah.
very bad of me. All right, Michael, it's been about an hour. Anything else you wanted to chat about, PoE 2 or otherwise?
No, not really, man. I'm looking forward to the Druid. I really want to see what the wolves are like, the summon wolves. I have 2 German Shepherd dogs myself, so I'm a huge wolf-like dog fan, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just I'll be making some content eventually. Sometimes I get sucked into the game in the new for a new patch, and then I don't do anything for like a month or two, you know.
Yeah.
And then I like bam, like I come out with like a bunch of stuff after when I have like something to show. But yeah, and if you guys want to check out like my music too, it's on my channel. I've got an
Cool.
album that you can like if you're grinding some maps and stuff. I did find that when I turned the music off in PoE 2, it seemed to run better. I don't know if that's placebo effect or what, but if that's the case, you could put my music on.
There you go. There's some funky audio stuff going on with PoE and PoE 2 where that is the
Yeah,
case. It's good
yeah,
music, guys.
performance.
I can
Oh,
vouch. Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, that's
Oh,
it. Performance. I really hope they work on that. I hope the loading screen's a little shorter. Last thing I want to say: when I drop into an abyss domain, does my character have to fall on the ground? Can he not just land on his 2 feet and start running,
you need the delay.
please? And
Close it
yeah,
out. A little bit.
he's a hero. He's not gonna fall on his face. All right.
Right, right.
He or she is not gonna fall on their
Yeah,
face, right?
yeah.
So, yeah, if they could just stand and not fall, and then if you could make the loading screen almost non-existent for that, I feel like it would have been amazing. Yeah,
All right.
that's it. That's all my feedback now.
There you
Got
go.
it all in
We
there.
got everything. GGG. Let's implement it with Abyss as it's implemented in 0.4. Thank you so much,
Yeah.
everybody, for watching. Michael, thanks for hopping on the pod. I appreciate it. Everybody watching on YouTube, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, not only to this video and channel, but to Off Meta Michael as well. Everything will be in the description below. Have a great night, everybody. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.
Thanks.